The question is this: what really is joy? In our living, what kinds of experience in which you have experienced are real joy? Are you happy? Okay, so hey guys, so now we're gonna move on to step 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so step 6 is think about what you want to make. Think about what makes you happy when you're sad. And why does it make you happy? So, step 7 is what are your life conditions? Step 8 is use this as a distraction rather than using distractions which depress you. Step 9, don't find happiness based on relationships because in understood about the impermanence of life. Step 10, what area of life are you happy with and why? This aids with expansion. Okay, so I'm gonna spend a couple of time talking on each issue. Think about what makes you happy when you're sad and why does it make you happy? When you think about things that make you happy when you're sad, like I was saying earlier, sometimes it's okay to think about the past. Sometimes it's okay to think about the past because the thing about happiness is that it's a momentary type of thing. It's something that you have to hold on to, and when you have it, you have to remember the good times, but you can't get lost in, okay, well, I remember that was such a good day, and then in the next second you instantly think about something that was bad, or you think about a situation where you're dwelling too much in the past. You cannot dwell too much in the past because when you dwell in the past, you're gonna start to think to yourself like, oh man, well, I'm not in those predicaments anymore. I don't have that happiness anymore. There's no way I can get that happiness anymore. I don't know how to get that happiness anymore. You have to take a step back and just think, well, what makes you happy? It doesn't have to necessarily be something from the past. It could be something like, for me, things that make me really happy is when I accomplish small goals because I'm always trying to accomplish big things, not realizing it's the little steps that are helping me to get to the bigger picture. So for me, something that makes me happy when I'm sad, reading the Bible, forming a better relationship with my maker, talking to my mother. But when I didn't have any of that, things that would make me happy would be things like traveling, making money, helping other people, because there were times where even I was unable to make money. There were times where if I didn't have money, I couldn't travel. So helping other people, whether that means, hey, you see this old lady or this old man and they're struggling and you help them with their groceries. I know that sounds like so little, but things like that truly make me happy. There was this time that I was walking back from the grocery store and I seen this old lady. She kept stopping, and she kept stopping because she was so tired from walking with her groceries. And I asked her, ma'am, may I please help you? And she said no, and I insisted, please ma'am, just let me help you. And she told me the last time someone helped her, they sold her groceries. But I said, ma'am, I assure you that I'm not that person. And so she gave trust within me to allow me to at least walk her just a few paces up the street. But all right, so apparently it definitely cut off on number 6. So helping other people is what makes me happy. When you look at your living conditions, don't look at what you don't have. Look at what you do have. Look at the possibilities of your future and where you're going to go. And what it's going to take for you to get there. For example, step number 7, what are your living conditions? You could be living in a very negative living conditions and you're wondering, how am I going to get out? Whether that means you're living in a shelter, you're homeless, you don't have food, or you could be in something that is just not right, or it could just be something that's great, where you're in a condition where, long story short, you're in a living condition where you're just not happy with where life is going. You feel like just things are just steady, but you're kind of content, but you're not necessarily happy about that contentness in life, and you want more for yourself. I truly understand this. I was homeless living in Atlanta, on the streets of downtown Atlanta. For me, it hasn't gotten any worse than, well, actually, I'm not gonna talk about that. It has gotten worse for me, but that's a hard condition. And you know what I did? I kept affirming to myself, this isn't going to be forever. I'm gonna make it out of here. I'm gonna make it out of this freezing condition. I have been in some very sticky predicaments. So when you're in these living conditions, you need to think about step number 6, which is happiness. When you're sad, think about things that make you happy. Don't think about the fact that you don't have that happiness. Just think about what made you happy and why it made you happy. Step number 8. Use distractions, like I was just saying, use distractions use this as a distraction rather than using distractions to depress you. When you're using happiness as a distraction rather than allowing sadness to distract you, you have no other choice but to be successful, because you're not vibrating on a lower frequency. You're vibrating on a higher frequency, and you're able to think back in the past, but not dwell in the past or live in the past, but you're able to be in a moment for a short period of time and say, you know what? I remember, for example, me, my mom, and my sister, when we used to dance together, and my mom was teaching me and my sister how to do the splits. When I'm sad, I like to think back on those type of situations. Yes, I've gone through bad situations with my mom, and we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I'm not taking those negative moments with me in the future. I'm leaving them where they belong, in the past. Step number 9. Don't find happiness based on relationships. When you find happiness based on relationships, you're not fulfilling your self-needs. When you're finding happiness in relationships, you are being selfless. Right now, what did we say?
We need to be more selfish.
And when you're putting all your eggs in one basket, guess what? When this person lets you down, you're going to be truly in a state of peril. Short example where I turn my head. Don't keep turning your head to people who are hurting you. When you see people who are hurting you, let it go. You have to find happiness in yourself. And also, when you're in a relationship and you have your own life, that actually makes them want you more. Step number 10, last step. Oh, also, you have to understand, before we get to 10, you have to understand the impermanence in life. And when I'm in yoga, they always say things like this: nothing in life is constant except for my Savior, Jesus Christ. But if you don't believe in Jesus, then you may have something else in your life that is constant. What I know for sure is energy is constant, whether it is negative energy or positive energy, but the energy that you put out there is constant. But what is not constant is your conditions of life in this present moment, okay? So impermanence of life is meaning the only thing that is permanent in life is the impermanence in life. There is constant evolutions happening around us. Step number 10, before my camera turns off. I'm sorry. Step number 10. What area of life are you not happy with, and why? You need to be able to be truthful with yourself, because this is going to help with your expansion of happiness and growth. when you're able to take a step back and look at, okay, well, this is why I'm not happy and this is why I'm not happy. Are these conditions, are you able to have control over them? If you're not able to control these conditions, don't tear yourself down because of it. Make steps towards your future. Envision, affirm for yourself that life is going to change. And when life changes, I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to already be 10 steps ahead. And because I'm 10 steps ahead, the universe is 20 steps ahead, preparing for my future. When you have negative thoughts in your mind, you tell those negative thoughts. You literally speak to those negative thoughts and you say to those negative thoughts, no, not today. Devil, get behind me. You demonic entities, get behind me. Whatever lower vibration you are, you need to step behind me and stay away from me. All right. So, like I said, what you have to understand is that there is impermanence in life. You have to be able to think back on happy memories, but not get jealous of the fact that, guess what? I'm no longer in that state of happiness. But it doesn't mean that those memories aren't real. It doesn't mean that you can't relive those memories. It doesn't mean that you can't create more greater memories. Actually, I'm not sitting here thinking about I wouldn't even call him my ex, but I'm not sitting here thinking about past relationships that I was involved in, because you know why? These are moments that are gonna break me, that they're gonna tear me apart. Do I think about the happiness that we did have, even though the happiness that he was creating for me was a lie? Yeah, I do, because the genuine memories and love that I gave this person was real for me. My name is Angel Savage, and I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to steps 6 through 10. I'm gonna come back again with the next steps, and I'm sorry that this video was so fast and I really couldn't elaborate as much as I want, but I have one last thing to say. Last thing to say before my camera turns off. I was reading this book right here. Got it from the Dollar Tree, believe it or not. And it asked me a question about joy. And the question is this: what really is joy? In our living, what kinds of experience in which you have experienced are real joy? Are you happy? Are happiness and joy the same thing? If not, what I want you to do is to write down why you believe that happiness and joy are not the same thing. What I've come to think, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking on it. And maybe a year from now, I'll have the answer. But are happiness and joy the same thing? Is joy something that is real? Is it a momentary type of thing? Are you just content in life? Or are you truly happy? It's like being in love. Being in love is not a constant, but having love for that person is constant. Just like happiness. Being happy isn't constant, but having happiness for me is. I don't know. But anyways, thank you for taking your time out to listen to me. I hope that this video helps someone. I really appreciate the platform that I'm able to utilize. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time out to listen to my perspectives in life. And you should really subscribe to Tony Robbins and a lot of other motivational speakers if you want to elevate your life. Try listening to certain frequencies. I like 432 hertz. I like to listen. Jim Carrey is a really great motivational speaker. I like to listen to certain sermons from certain pastors. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the time that you spent out to watch my video. Goodbye. Hope this is a book. Oh, I have one last. Okay. Sorry.